Hey guys and girls, women and men, how are you? Just gonna give that a little moment to load. I don't know what was going on with my phone, but like Facebook wasn't loading and I'm like, do I need to update the app? It wasn't even an update. I'm like, okay, it's coming. All right, let me. Yes, and by the way, of course there's a replay in here because the live stream will just be sitting in here, so you can always watch the replay. So even if you're working or what have you and you've got questions, just comment them in and I will answer them on live stream for you, and then you can always watch the replay live stream in here, yeah? All right, so let's just, I'm going to go through all these comments and what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, and Carrie, I just saw your post in the group too about the moon, and I just wanted to check where the moon is actually, because everybody's felt like a shift, right? Okay, well, let me have a look at this. Everything ready? Hey, Ant. You guys are rocking the group too. I freaking love it. Support. It's like, I'm like, do you guys notice how alive it's come since we did like the calling in your friendships, like the soulmate friendships? Like, do you guys recognize that? It's so good, right? All right, let me just have a quick look at this moon. Okay, so where are we? What is today, the 8th? September. So, oh, okay. Oh, we're right on dark moon. Well, the 10th is, so in 2 days is the new moon, but it's technically dark moon because we're coming into that, like it goes full dark before it then goes into the new phase, but they call the dark moon the new moon, but it's actually, you've been up all night. Yeah, I noticed it like fully when I posted on Facebook. What was it, Thursday Australian time, and then like yesterday I was just kind of like wiped for energy, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I've got all this work I wanted to film and I just couldn't get it done, but I was like, okay, rest, like whatever's, and then today I'm fine again. I'm like, okay. Hey Cody. All right, so let me I'll start going through these questions, and if you've got any questions whilst I'm, talking away, just please just comment them in. Hi, super love having you here. Okay. Yes, and I just wanted to say, Carrie, too, yeah, like my cycle changes like from new moon to full moon, like, it goes, I notice in different cycles. Not like all the time, like over a period of time it'll gradually go back to new moon or gradually go back to full moon. Hey Kristen, say hi guys when you join live, let me know you're here. So yeah, and it is that time, and that's why I always say to people, like, what's the moon doing? Like, notice like where you are in your menstrual cycle. And I was actually getting the message last night too, and I was falling asleep, to talk to you guys that men have cycles too. And they're like, well, we don't have like the women hormones. It's like, no, but men go into men caves, right? Like that's a cycle, like we're out and then we withdraw, and then we're out and then we withdraw. It's the moon. Everybody feels it, right? And it's not like blaming the moon or blaming the cycles. It's like, no, this is how we increase our power, because we know when we need to support ourselves more and care for ourselves more, and then when we've got full energy, then it's time to like fully come out in the world, right? So really important to like recognize that and just enable to, hold yourself in that space, right? And support yourself. And then you learn to, like you tap into your inner power, you tap into the cycles, you're able to, oh yeah, there you go. You have men hormone cycles, right? And then you're also able to, I don't know if it's helped more people in the world, but it's having that awareness that gives you the compassion or takes the judgment out of stuff. Like, it's like, it's, I guess, before like really tapping into the cycles, like, so, okay, I don't know, tell me if it's working, guys, because I'm like, what's going on this morning? All right. let me know how that's working or not. Anyway, you can watch the replay. But I like having you guys live. And whoever's live too, I can pull cards for too, by the way, I wanted to say. Okay, so I just wanted to speak here. So Carrie, on day 1, you're saying you're learning more about the chakras, not sure at times to know which ones are in need of tuning and healing. My intuition tells me my root chakra and my heart. I've been doing tons of work in my solar plexus, but I feel out of touch with my root altogether. Yeah, so, you know, it's obviously like tuning in and allowing yourself to, you know which chakras need more work. And like to have them kind of all reconnected, I really recommend the Next Wave Healing and Ascension, Next Wave Activation Healing and Ascension meditation, because it's a chakra clearing. It's a really long meditation and it's a chakra clearing, but it also connects the like the connection. It heals and repairs the connection between the chakras. So like the crown and the third eye, and heals that and heals that and heals that. That is in my in the free like pack that I've got. Let me just put that in the link. Put the link in the comments. So you may already have that, but I'm going to put that, wherever the live stream is. Okay, yeah. Alright, so yeah, and that's just like a reconnection back to all. So like the internal compass chakra clearing that I've got, that's like a short meditation. Yes, you do. Whoops, yes, you do. It is a snake growing. It's not finished yet. It's just the outline, but I really love it, but I haven't, obviously it's not finished. It's getting there. So Carrie, that's what I'd be recommending, you know, like to kind of reconnect all your chakras back together, and then be then you could focus more on the base chakra or something like that. And you know, how would you do that? Like I'd be personally just going, you know, putting your hands on your base and just going, you know, what do I need to do to support you? How can I reconnect to you? How can I support you? Do you know what I mean? Like just have a chat to your base chakra, basically. Yeah, thank you, Kristen. Yeah, I really love it. When you guys join, say hi, because I'm seeing all these people join. Carlos, yay, you're so welcome. Thank you. So I'm just speaking to these comments on day 1. And Jennifer was saying, this is really speaking to me the past 3 days. My ex-partner keeps surfacing in my consciousness. He went through a lot of hurt and finding a twin flame. And I noticed that you watched that Matt Kahn twin flame video, twin flame and soulmates. That really, I guess, woke me up in a way several years ago when I watched that Matt Kahn video. Just like releasing the label and like the stigma and everything around twin flame and soulmates, and it actually really woke me up to what an actual twin flame is compared to a soulmate, and you know, in the whole thing. And I've just like really let go of all the labels since then. So I'm really grateful that helped you too, because it just helps to go, oh, okay, cool, and it just like shifts us. I'll put that in everything I talk about, I'll just put in the comments as well. What was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, and Matt Kahn's videos, they're awesome. If you feel called to want to watch something inspiring or what have you, I love his work. He's very heart-based as well. Okay. So, and I just want to like, you know, I don't know, you guys are doing amazing with all the support you're giving each other. I'm just like, I love you guys so much. Okay, so let me find day 2, and while in between, I'm going to pull a card for those who are live. So if you'd like a card, please let me know. Kristen, I think you said yes, please. So I will just say yes, please, and then I will pull you a card. Okay. Okay. All right, so Kristen, hey Loretta, just say yes please if you'd like a card. I'm going to pull a card for those who are live. I'm going to go through the day 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the claircognizance free training, and so there'll be 5 days, so Monday to Friday of training each week, and then the like this time every week, I'll do a live stream and do what I'm doing. So if you've got any questions during the week, please comment them and I will answer them. And then what else was I just going to say then? Let me switch this around. So, and if you join live, then I pull cards. I just making sure I'm pressing the right button. Hang on a sec. Okay. Sweet. All right, Kristen. Because you commented before, this one is yours. I'm using the liquid crystal cards today. They're called I Light. This is vision, right? That's what I was just about to say. I was just about to say the third eye chakra starts, next week. And I just wanted to point out, like, like when we come to an end of a chakra or, which is what we're doing in this. So we've come from the crown going into the third eye. And when we're just about to finish, say, the claircognizance, the third eye is already active. Like, we're already kind of stepping into that consciousness, and the third eye is all about relationships and seeing the truth in relationships and seeing the dynamics of the relationships, seeing like we're in relationship to everything. So whether it's an intimate relationship or it's a relationship you've got with your coffee or your water or your phone, like we're in relationship to everything, right? So thanks, Kristen, for your card. Eye Light reminded me of this. And Eye Light is the third eye chakra, and it's connected to the owl and the vision, like it's talking about the cycles. I'm pretty sure, hang on a sec. I know the liquid crystals and then I also need more information, but it's because I remember that this card would always come up when I was when I was in my codependence relationships. Now, I'm not saying that you are, Kristen, because I know you're not in a relationship, but I also know that you're with your family at the moment. And it says here, like, if Eye Light has come to you today, your higher senses are about to become active. Your clairvoyant, psychic, and intuitive abilities are your birthright. At a certain time in everybody's life, a doorway opens where their development is most possible. For you, that time is now. And it's interesting, Eye Light has come into people's lives in help the realization and to herald the arrival of a vision you have held within yourself and worked towards for some time. And that can be like lifetimes, right? So I'm really excited for you to come back. I know that that's not exactly it, but I just feel like you're seeing so much more truth. Like, I know you're in Germany with your family at the moment. I just feel like you're seeing, not just seeing so much truth, but you're like putting the wisdom that you've learned into action. And, when we talk about owl and wisdom and, that feels like where you're sitting with that at the moment. It's just like you're seeing kind of the big picture, but you're not like reacting to it or stepping into the dynamics of it as much as what you would have done sort of thing in the past. So that's the message from Eye Light today for you. All right, who else have we got here? I just want to come in and pull cards for you guys. We'll talk about the things later. No, anyway, I'm going to talk about the claircognizance stuff. I felt called to do this. Okay. All right, Cody snacks. Let me pull a card for Cody. And I just need to drink my coffee before it goes cold. I was like, make a coffee before you go on live stream, because every time I get on live stream and then it goes cold. Anyway, I have drunk most of it. Ooh. Cody, kyanite, which is alignment. This is the crow or the raven. Sorry, I'm just seeing a comment, Kristen. Yeah, yay, looking forward to getting home. Wondering if I should do an online course or just chill out. Wonder if that helped answer your question or not. Not really, right? Depends how full on the course is. Can you still chill out and do the course would be my question to you. So kyanite alignment. So yeah, so this is like coming into alignment, but it's also showing you what's out of alignment. So the crow, the raven, Cody, is very much that, it says here, if kyanite has carried its powerful aligning and healing light into your life, you are being shown that something is out of alignment with your goals, purpose, or chosen direction. We make decisions in the physical world based solely on what we have experienced or learned in the past. One day we must take a risk and do things a new way. perhaps we will be the first to ever do it. How interesting, right? Oops, it's upside down. Oh, I'm holding it upside down. That's so interesting. Let me just activate that. That's so interesting, right? So one day we must take a risk and do things a new way. Perhaps we will be the first to ever do it. That's pretty exciting. Life purpose, like maybe. That's what I always say, right? Because I know you're in my Trust Intuition group, and when we fully, trust that intuition, we step into that. And I know that a lot of my tribe in the Trust Intuition group are here to do something that's not on the planet quite just yet. Just like me, or you kind of wouldn't be in the group, and maybe you're not, but hey, this is very interesting, this card for you, right? This is the role of Kyanite for you today. Your spirit is ready to fine-tune an aspect of your existence. Sit quietly and listen, but do not expect answers in the physical mind. These may be words the world has never heard. This is so powerful. I love this. The Ascended Master, I don't know how to say it. Is it like Kutimi? Maybe calling you. I'm curious who that is. So that's really interesting, right? So the other thing that's just jumping out at me, it says, Kyanite's ability to build a pathway to the spirit is crucial in the development of the new children of light that are entering our world. How interesting. It says it works intimately to adjust the expanded consciousness of these amazing beings to the lower physical brain wave frequencies, thus aiding many of their symptoms, including epilepsy, autism, and other mental conditions. Isn't that so interesting? And that's like, and like I know you're in the Life Purpose Mentorship and we're doing the Crown. I know we're in Crown here as well, but as I've been filming the Crown Chakra, and obviously we're in here doing the Clay Cognizance training this week, when we open the Crown and we receive like all that information and that intuitive guidance, and it's like a stream of consciousness that comes down into our body, right? It's like I see it and I feel it like a channel that comes down into our heart. And it's like a lot of people, we get caught in the spiritual bypassing and cut off, like people have a spiritual awakening. So this is really relational to claircognizance training this week, by the way, guys. I'm just saying, pointing that out. Like we open our crown, but when we open our crown, our heart chakra is automatically ignited, right? Hey Berta, hey Tracy, I saw you join too. If you want a card, let me know. Pulling cards for those who join me live. And when that's like it automatically activates, right? When I feel like I've already said this before because I filmed it in the Crown Chakra training. I also need to talk about it. It's really, really important, right? Especially like claircognizance, we're opening a crown. So spiritual awakening. People are like, oh, it's so amazing because all this energy comes in, right? We're like, oh, like we have this spiritual awakening. It's amazing. And then shit hits the fan for like ages, and we're like going to this like dark night of the soul, like, and it's hell, and we're like, what the hell? And people are like, spiritual awakenings are not that nice. And I'm like, yeah, do you know why? Right? Because when we open up and the stream of consciousness, the energy, the spiritual light, whatever you want to call it, streams in and ignites the heart, because the heart consciousness is aligned with spirit, is for the love of all, like whatever, so the heart automatically ignites. But when we first start feeling our heart, most of society has never felt their heart before. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we get shut down as a kid. We're not allowed to act a certain way. We're not allowed to laugh. We're not allowed to, so we've got all this pain and hurt in our heart. And when we have a spiritual awakening, it feels amazing. But then the reality hits because of the instant like activation. And then we're like, oh my God, I'm feeling for the first time. And sometimes there's a lot of pain. So what's the point of me saying that? Oh, so what happens then is if we don't have the support and how to feel our heart, which is a big part of my passion on the planet, as you guys know, I'm like, feel your feelings, right? For this very reason, we cut off and we stay here. And that's why there's a lot of spiritual bypassing. There's a lot of spiritual ego. That's why, a lot of religions or conscious communities are really like for me personally, like no judgment, but my energy, and like, I don't really enjoy being a part of like full religious groups or even full spiritual groups, because that ego, like, it's so judgmental because a lot of people cut off here, you know, and so they've got all this pain here and then they're just not feeling. And that's why there's inauthenticity. And like we're like, you know, for us empaths, we pick up all the subconscious stuff that they're not feeling, and we're like, we get confused because they're like we're feeling everything that's going on underneath, but they're like stuck up here, and then we get confused, and then we're like, but, you know, and that's why I'm like, you know, telling you guys, I'm like, trust what you pick up, because you're picking up what they're not feeling, right? It's not you, you know, like, it's like, just be mindful that that's what's going on. So obviously I need to share that, right? Because the kyanite and alignment, because what jumped out at me from that reading, Cody, for you, so kyanite's ability to build a pathway to the spirit is crucial in the development of the new children of light that are entering our world. So it works intimately to adjust the expanded consciousness of these amazing beings to the lower physical brainwave frequencies, thus aiding many of their symptoms. So getting people out of their head, like all mental illness is because we're not bringing that consciousness and spirit energy down into our body. And that's why I'm so passionate about coming from the crown down, getting you grounded in your body, like, you know, and as we work through life purpose mentorship and we're going consciously down through each chakra, like fully healing all the trauma and shit as we go down, so that our soul, our consciousness actually feels comfortable in our body, and we embody that stream of consciousness, we embody our soul and actually do what we're meant to do on the planet, rather than being up here and judging everyone else and having all these emotions we're not feeling, right? So yeah, there's been a bit of tech problems this morning, Gary. Yeah, here now, and I'm still only on the second person's reading, so it's all good. I'm pulling cards. I am talking about the claircognizance as well, which just happened to come out here. So, and it's interesting because in the crown chakra, like training, actually talking about all the mental illnesses and stuff, and that's, you know, pretty much what it's about. So that's really interesting for you, Cody. I'm so curious. And I love that that's come out for you. It's like confirming life purpose stuff. You're here to do something that's not on the planet yet, which is awesome, because that's what I feel. And you're in trust intuition, it doesn't surprise me. Okay, you're so welcome. All right, who is next for a card? If you haven't told me you want a card yet, please say yes, please, otherwise I won't pull you one. So Betsy is next. All right, let me have a drink. I like the liquid crystal cards, they're powerful. Okay, Betsy. Oh, and I just want to point out before I share your card, Betsy, so I've got day 2 open, because I see now I'm reading cards because they're all interconnected with the crown that we're talking about and the claircognizance. Because, and that's why, you know, on day 2 I was like, anger, right? When we start working with the crown chakra, and, you know, our claircognizance, and we have the spiritual awakening, we're like, it's amazing. And then the anger hits, right? We're like fuming. And why is that? Because anger protects all the sadness and grief underneath, right? Anger is like the protective mechanism, so we don't feel our feelings of the grief and the hurt, right? So when we're open and we're like, this is amazing, and then it, boom, ignites the heart, and we're like, whoa, what's all that? We're like, oh, okay, we're not gonna feel that. So we're like walking around with this anger protection, right? It's because of the heart stuff of what I just shared, right? So I just wanted to say that. And then the other thing I wanted to point out as well, like, so when I spoke on day 2 and I said, you know, like, knowing the difference between your claircognizance thoughts and your ego thoughts can be a little bit tricky in the start until you fine tune. And I don't personally like using the word ego, because for me, ego is just a part of your shadow. Now, let me point something out here. The shadow, right, it's there's as many shadow parts that we have in our psyche as there are people on the planet. There's like 74 billion people on the planet or something. So we've got 74 billion shadow parts, right? We're not separate from them, right? So we're like, whoa, did that just like, you just boggle your mind, because you're like, how am I supposed to know what my claircognizance is with 74 billion thoughts running around my head, right? And you guys know, what did, it was Renee, I think she said like the Million Mile Mind, and I'm like, yes, love that. Who is in the Million Mile Mind Club? I super, super love that. I just wanted to point out, like, these cards here, Carolyn Mace, is the archetype cards, right? Now, it's very much shadow work, so archetype, shadow, same thing. These cards are awesome. Maybe I'll come in one time and do specific shadow cards. They're sometimes a bit confronting, like the prostitute, or I don't know what else. I'm trying to find something else that's not very quote unquote nice, but you know, the prostitute, for example, I mean, like, we all prostitute ourselves, and we do that simply by saying yes when we really mean no. We've just prostituted our energy out, right? So I just wanted to point out, like, with the ego, and it's like that is, for me, ego is just a shadow part. Let me read some. We've got fool, the gossiper, the mentor, the trickster. There's blank ones. There's the mystic, the miser, the child. There's lots of childs. The storyteller, the avenger, the queen, the seeker, the addict, the Samaritan, the Samaritan, like the, you know, the person that gives help. I can't think of what that word is. The king. There's the wounded child, the servant, the beggar, the prince, the slave, the judge, the femme fatale, the hero, the heroine, the knight, the scribe, the visionary, the exorcist. My God, I can't say all the words this morning. Teacher, child divine, the liberator, the bully, the gambler. And I just wanted to point out, like, the mother, the engineer, the networker, like, there's heaps, right? These are shadow parts. And it does come from negative connotation. It comes from the the spiritual cutoff place. That's where that comes from. So I want to feel what those parts are saying to us, right? And with these cards, like, I specifically love these cards. I think she's actually got a book. Maybe, I don't know. Her book, Sacred Contracts, goes into a lot of it, actually. Carolyn Mace's stuff is quite deep, but it's really awesome. So with every card, there's the light and the shadow attribute. So there's the good and the bad, right? And they all exist within all of us all the time. So I'm getting the message. I'll come in and do a specific live stream. I might do it actually between when we move from the clairaudience to the clairsentience, because the throat is in the middle. So I'll schedule a live stream and come in and do specific shadow cards. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be in about 2 weeks. And I guess I'm just pointing this out because, as I said on day 2 with the claircognizance, like, how do we know if it's our claircognizant thought or whether it's a shadow part speaking? And this is where coming into shadow work and knowing how to do shadow work is really helpful, because I think the meditation is maybe 7 to 8 minutes long that I've got, just like maybe a little bit longer. I have to double check. Just like the internal compass, it doesn't take that long to get your answers, right? It doesn't take that long to shift. And it's really, really powerful because, you know, like, it's kind of like what I say, not every negative thought, every voice is a part wanting to be reclaimed. Oh, look what I just pulled, right? The orphan, right? It's awesome, right? And I've just pulled this. This is significant, right? Betsy, I haven't forgotten your card. It's leading into what I'm talking about, of course. The orphan child, you know, like, so say there's an abandoned child within you and it's needing love and support. And if you're not tending to that inner work and giving your inner child that, it's going to feel abandoned, orphaned. It's going to have all that feelings. So instead of you tending to that, what happens is that you become that orphaned child. And you become needy. You know, life becomes hard because no one's there for you. I don't know, like, you're craving love, so you might go into addictions because you're wanting to be nourished or cared for. You know, so, and this is why, you know, and that's when it's like, okay, so am I having a claircognizance thought about like needing a relationship or something, or is it my child that's needing support, right? That's just for an example. So I want to talk about the light and the dark since they were talking about it. So the light attribute of the orphan child. So when we integrate the shadow, so let's talk about shadow for a second. So shadow is feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. So we stay stuck in the child. So, and that's when I posted a little while ago, or maybe I didn't, maybe I was speaking to a client about it. What is it? Maturity or age doesn't define maturity. Experiences do, right? And I think I was talking to a client, so I don't think I posted about this. You know, there's many 40, 50-year-olds that act like they're 18, and there's lots of 18, 20-year-olds that have the consciousness of a 50-year-old, right? Age doesn't define maturity. Wisdom, like an experience, does, right? And wisdom comes from experience. So feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So that's when the negative addiction, unhealthy, toxic relationships ensue, and attachment and stuff because of this. So when we tend to it's interesting, inner child's come up when we're talking about shadow work, but this is a prime example. How do I know if it's shadow? How do I know if it's inner child? If I know it's that? Like, my kind of protocol is doing internal compass chakra clearing meditation, which is my free one that you guys have access to on my website and the free essentials pack. You've got, like, the protocol is doing chakra clearing, clear your chakras, clear energy. Next, inner child. Next, shadow work. They're kind of like the 3 steps. I'm like, do this. There's your answers. Always. Okay. So you're tending to inner child. Is there a shadow part that feels, you know, like for me, when I've done that process, you know, like, for example, the example that's coming to mind is that, like I was working deeply on healing my masculine and healing the stuff around my dad, my father issues, and I did an inner child, and this memory came back of, like, you know, of me being the scapegoat in the family, and I was just like, you know, all this shit was just piled onto me, and my grandfather actually came through in the inner child meditation, but when I actually did a shadow meditation after that, my grandfather also came through and was saying sorry and blah, blah, blah. He's still alive, by the way. So this is just internal shadow work. This is high self. This is relationship healing. And so did the shadow meditation, integrated here. I was like, yeah, cool. And what actually happened in that meditation, in the shadow meditation, is like, I think it was, I can't remember if it was 7 to 8 generations back, grandfather came through, like, so my great grandfather came through and actually apologized to me because that's where it started. Now, I was like, whoa, like, okay. And that all came from doing an inner child meditation and then a shadow meditation straight after it. And there was like this generational lineage healing going on. Like, do you know what I mean? And this is why I'm like, the power of doing those 2 meditations one after another, really, really powerful. Clear chakras first, obviously. That's like my protocol, right? And, you know, like, I haven't been to see my family in a couple of years now, but I know when I go back home, because of the work I've been doing in the past 12 months, I have different, like, this is how we get to be around our family. And I'm not going to say without being triggered, because we always get triggered. We're human, right? But I imagine that I'll be able to hold more space and not be as triggered because of this sort of healing work that I've been doing, because of the internal relationship I've got with my inner child. My inner child doesn't feel like she's being shadowed. My inner child is supported and nurtured by me. I've had an apology from my grandfather in that space, so I don't need one from him physically for all the shit that we went through, you know. And you got triggered too, yeah, and it just enables us to be in a space, still be triggered, but not the trigger onto and cause a fight or whatever, right? Like, we're able to be conscious with it, and then we can kind of go, okay, I just gotta go and, I don't know, see a friend. We go and meditate and go see a friend, internal friend, right? Anyway. Yes, I think it was a post. I remember hearing about it. You talked about a client. Yes, thank you, Berta. Yeah, I'm like, did I share that or not? I was like, yeah, it's important, right? So anyway, I guess that's what I want to say, because how we distinguish between our claircognizance thoughts, our shadow, our ego, our inner child, is by having a relationship with our inner child, with our shadow work. And the more conscious we are of that, and you can do that daily, You know, like I did like that process like from, I don't know, it was like March or no, it was April to like June, July. I did like 3 to 4 months, like 3.5 months. It was like solid, like every single day I was doing my journaling, I was doing like inner child and shadow work. That was like my process every day. And I healed some of the biggest shit in my life, you know, from turning up every day for 3 to 4 months solid. Like it was intense, right? So, you know, it's like and by doing that, we build a relationship. So instead of like a situation going on in your life, you're like, okay, cool, what's really going on here, right? And we go into the meditation and it shifts and we're like, oh, okay. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even about what's going on out there, because that's just a reflection to go deeper inside. So when we have that relationship with our inner child and our shadow, we become more conscious of an actual claircognizance, intuitive thought, and then, you know, is that inner child, you know, and as you build that relationship with your inner child, with your shadow stuff, you're able to very easily distinguish it, right? There's very often times now that I'm like, oh, that really hurt my inner child, like that really hurt, something that really triggered, you know, I'm straight away, I'm like, that triggered a memory from when I was a kid and that fucking happened to me. I'm like, right, go and do my inner child work. Right? It's like, you know, so instead of like blaming and projecting out there, we're able to go in and nurture, and then our intuition stays clearer because all this hurt and pain from your inner child isn't sitting there in your heart, and then we stay in our head, right? Powerful, powerful work. Okay. Wanted to say that. Let me just talk about the light attributes of this, and then I'm going to read your card, Betsy, because it's interesting what's coming in from intuitively pulling the child card. So the light attribute, right? So when we integrate the feelings of abandonment, when we do the inner child, when we build a relationship, and by the way, it's not just do it once and everything's healed. Like, how old are you? Like, for me, I'm 33. I'm like, there's 33 years of hurt of not having a supportive mum in my life. And that was really amplified to me when I had my daughter, and how much I was giving to my daughter just because I didn't want her to go through what I went through. But I went through a lot of grief in healing and feeling the pain of actually not having the mum that I ever wanted, right? And I will never get that from my mum. But because I've done all this inner work and healed the grief about that, then I can go to my mum and have a lot of love for her because that's just who she is. But I don't have any qualms about it because I've dropped into so much grief and felt the depths of the grief and the abandonment, and then learnt to give myself what I never had, right? So the light attribute, so when we integrate that, feelings of abandonment, blah, 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 seeking surrogate families, right? The light attribute, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering the fear of surviving. So we step into independence, but not in a like, I don't need help. We don't flick to the extreme and go, fuck the world, I don't fucking need anybody. Like, we don't do that, okay? It's like we learn to give and receive. We learn to receive and we learn to give in balance, and we're able to have that strength of self and that independence. And when we have that, then we attract relationships that also mirror that. We don't need somebody, but having that company is awesome, and we let that in, right? So this is like coming into the balance there. And when we do that, again, we've got this kind of like clear, you know, space. And that's why people say to me, oh, you're so grounded and you're so like clear and intuitive. And I'm like this is normal for me, but this is the sort of work that I'm doing all the time. So this is why. Because I'm not getting confused. I'm like, is that my inner child? Is that? It's like I built a relationship with them over these years that I am so clear. When I get triggered, I go and, you know, explore that. And if I need help, I'll go see Lois, right? So that's interesting. I just wanted to talk to that because, and that just kind of randomly come up when I started talking about how do you know the difference between your claircognizance or whether it's your shadow speaking or anything like that. And Betsy, the card that I ended up pulling for you is Moonstone, which is Mother Goddess. You're coming into right now. Yeah, I'm actually gonna release a family pack. I've been getting the message to put together, so like the balance, the divine balance, the masculine and feminine, the triple goddess and the triune god are about to be released soon. I wanted it to be done yesterday, but I'm just trusting the timing, so probably in the next week or so. But I'm also getting the message to release a family pack which is inner child, inner father, inner mother, and then probably shadow in there too. So I don't know, keep an eye out for that, because yeah. Do you even now still do inner child? Fuck yes. Fuck yes. That's a never ending, like that's always. Like always. Yeah. 100%. I've been doing it the past 3 days. Like I'm like, oh, there's stuff going on. I'm like, right, need to connect to my inner child. If I'm feeling abandoned, I need to connect to my inner child. It's the first place I go, because it's nothing out there. I'm abandoning myself. So straight into inner child. Fuck yes, I do. In answer to your question, Betsy, the moonstone, the mother goddess, right? And this is, I don't know if you guys can see this, right? In the liquid crystal cards, there are beings, right? So like guardians of the crystals. So if you can see like these, I don't know, can you guys see this? It's like this, like I said, there's a head, these are the arms on either side, and this is like the legs. Oh, I'm doing it backwards in the camera because it's flicked around, and these are the legs. It's like the big mother goddess like holding, I don't know, can you see that? I'm trying to hold it still. It's like these, yeah, there's beings in the crystals. I don't know if you can see the face up the top there. It's really profound. Anyway, that's all I can see. Betsy, and the moonstone, the mother goddess, like moonstone is the reflective nature. Moonstone is the moon. It's that, you know, very associated with Archangel Jophiel, like the moon mother goddess, and being able to reflect, right? We take in the reflection, we reflect back, we hold space, we're able to nurture. So the inner child, everything I've just been speaking about. So Betsy, specifically for you, pulling this card and wondering where you need to reconnect to your internal self, like nurture yourself, give yourself that nurturing that you never had, allowing that internal space to, you know, deeply embody down into your sacral. I'm getting the message for you, like really, and that, you know, sacral chakra is all about nurturing. You know, nourishing, nurturing on a healthy level, which when we're talking about that orphan, it's like, you know, seeking inappropriate families, surrogate families, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. I'm sure you've heard about me talk, you know, like when we're born and the umbilical cord is cut, you know, and that's like our first nourishment on the planet, you know, even oxygen came in through our belly, you know, in the start. Like, so when that's cut and we're like, whoa, what do we cling on to, right? If we're not nurtured properly. So it's, I'm just getting the message for you, Betsy, like, where do you need to nurture, and what have your claircognizance thoughts been around nurturing yourself and filling yourself up in healthy ways, would be the message for you there. I'm just going to check Moonstone and just see if any messages jump out. This is a liquid crystal, guys. If this is the first time you've heard me talk about the liquid crystals, these are similar to the bark flowers or the bush flowers, which is like the vibrational medicine drops that you take morning and night under your tongue. It's like a liquid. It's a liquid, right? I used to take the bush flowers all the time. When I came across these several years ago, I haven't used the bush flowers since, because I found these really potent, powerful, like they're really, like I feel them differently in my system. For example, I need to share this for some reason because I love them. So you can take a single dose. So you can take Moonstone for 3 weeks, and then the 4th week is integration, and then the crystal like crystallines in your body, like in your what's it called? I guess energetic self, but also what's the bit, like blood, but it's not like it crystallines and clogs up your system like you become it sort of thing, right? And the other option is taking like say 3 crystals. So it's called a trinity. And I love this. When Jade told me this, like Jade's one of my best friends, she's one of the practitioners, but I'm going to do my practitioner certification soon. I can feel it's time. Anyway, the point is, we can take a trinity. So we take, say, this on day 1, this on day 2, this on day 3, and then on day 4 we start back again, day 4, day 5, day 6, and then we go around for 21 days, and then on the 4th week, so do it for 3 weeks, and then the 4th week is integration week. We don't take any of the crystals, right? But what happens when you take trinity on that 4th week is that these 3 crystals form their own crystal in your body. How friggin' cool is that, man? I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, give me a trinity. I think I took a trinity in the very first time. Anyway, Betsy, let me see what jumps out. Okay, this is interesting, Betsy. The first thing that jumped out at me was moonstone is an ancient and traditional stone from Atlantis for the goddess and one of the ruling stones for the female path of ascension. So it's very interesting, and I was like, how do you need to nurture yourself? How do you need to connect? How do you need to, you know, like be the mother to yourself, right? You might be kind of like not mothering everybody else but forgetting about yourself, and I'm just wondering, like, to bring that kind of balance in. It is an ongoing basis. Yeah, I just read your comment, Berta, and that's the thing, you know, like people just sorry, let me read that out. So yeah, I think in this day and age with technology, we see everyone showing the best of themselves and thinking it's effortless to gain a happy and fulfilled life. What I'm gaining from this is like a muscle. To keep it strong needs to be practiced on an ongoing basis. Yeah, that's why I'm always saying it's a muscle. We need to practice on. Like, do you want to just learn how to doggy paddle? Like, everybody kind of knows how to doggy paddle. Like, you know, we've all got intuition. Like, people are like, what do you feel like for dinner? And you're like, and then you're like, oh, I feel like this, right? Because you've just tuned into your intuition about what your body needs, and then you do that, right? So everybody's got that ability. But whether you want to, you know, gain more skills, and then, you know, do you want to become an Olympic swimmer? Like, you know, are you training every single day? It's the same as like being a bodybuilder and going to the gym. Like, you know, like even to not be like, for bodybuilder, it's like intense work. Same with an Olympic swimmer, it's intense work. But if you want to get fit, toned and healthy, you still need to put in effort, I don't know, 5-6 days a week if you want to be looking good, right? So it's the same with our spiritual awareness. It's the same with shadow work. It's the same with that. It's not like when I said at the start, I'm like, there's 74 billion people on the planet. That's how many shadow parts you got. And then 74 billion people die, and like there's always people dying, there's always people being born. It's an ongoing process. It's not like we just do it once and it, you know, comes back. Like, you know, in the process of me doing inner child and shadow work, I've revisited the same issues, you know, over and over and over again, and not like all the time, but, you know, say for example, do inner child and shadow work, that process that I just shared, I'll heal something. And say, I'll give you the example of my grandfather that I shared. So my grandfather came back for like 3 or 4 days in a row, right? It was like, okay, cool. And just more healing or more talking or more like get through this, like sort of thing, right? And then he kind of disappeared for maybe a week or so. And then, you know, other shadow parts came in, or my dad or whatever it was. And then a week later, my grandfather came back in, and it was almost like a kind of final healing for that aspect that was going on, right? So it's important to continually do it. Yeah, I used to be a pro tennis player. Got it. Yeah, you got it there. Feel like oh my goodness, my words. I feel a bit like an Olympian swimmer at the moment. Yes, me too, Kristen, 100%. Do you usually fast or eat differently when you do liquid crystals? No, nothing different at all. It's just like taking a medicine. Okay, so, yes, that was what I was getting the message for you, Betsy. Okay, this is important. This is still jumping out from moonstone. So moonstone is a very magical stone worked with in magical practice as a representation of the goddess energies and taking control of the emotional aspect. Now, isn't that interesting? When I just spoke about the inner child and then the mother, the moonstone, right? Nurturing ourselves, tending to ourselves, right? So we don't feel abandoned. So we don't, you know, like be the inner child in a relationship, no matter what relationship you're talking about, whether it's at work, whether it's at, you know, in an intimate relationship or family, right? It's like when we can, okay, it says here, yeah, okay, I just got to read this for some reason. So one of the most potent representations of feminine energy in the earth, moonstone teaches the path of the goddess through the emotional body. She soothes and heals the emotions by bringing them under the soul's control, which is the soul's control, which is the evolution, shadow work, it's all of that, right? Inner spiritual work. This delivers an understanding of the cyclic nature of all things, which activates non-attachment and freedom of expression, which is exactly what I've just been talking about, right? I love this. I'm like, oh, I want to keep knocking that because I'm using my different thing. My foot keeps on it. Sorry, guys. So I super love this. This is really awesome, right? And this is why I'm always like, you know, what's the moon doing? It's like the first thing I did when I jumped on live stream. I'm like, where are we at the moon? I'm like, 2 days away, we step into dark moon. Like, you know, well, new moon, but it's fully dark. So we are in that shedding, letting go cycle. Did speak to you at the start, Carrie, before you jumped on. So that's really awesome, right? And this is where it says here, it says, Moonstone asks you to sit and feel, just sit. Don't label, think, act, or react, just feel, yeah? By doing this, one gains the ability to experience the cyclic nature of our world. Just as things arise, so they fall away, and we are able to surrender and be happy without attachment. Hence, that inner child, right? So interesting. I hope you guys are getting a deep healing from this. This is pretty powerful. What was I going to say? And it was so interesting that I posted that yesterday on Facebook. I'm like, nothing can penetrate the heart but the heart, right? When we sit and we feel, we don't label, we don't judge, we don't get stuck in the stories, you know, and what I want to say to this is just because we're sitting and feeling our emotions, it doesn't mean that our mind's going, well, this happened, but what's happening is we're conscious of how that makes us feel, and we're conscious of what our mind's doing. So it's like, if you really want to take it, it's like, you know, we've got this physical body and we've got our heart and we've got our head and our mind going at the million-mile mind, right? What our soul is doing is our soul is witnessing both of these. So instead of just becoming the observer of our thoughts, we're doing both. Doesn't mean you won't cry. Doesn't mean you won't feel hurt. Doesn't mean you won't feel abandoned. But you're just witnessing the entire thing. Right? It's very, very powerful. But this is where I'm always harping on about, like, okay, inner child, okay, shadow work, okay, right? Because of all these reasons. Yeah? Okay, this has really been really powerful, way more powerful than I realized. Hey, Rebecca. All right, so I'm just going to, okay, I'm going to move on to day 3, and then I'm going to move on to the next person who said yes for a reading. And if you're joining me live and you haven't said, yes, Hannah, I want a card, please let me know. I'm just going to find day 3. And if you are just joining live, I highly recommend watching the entire of this live stream. It is a long live stream, but if you want like free spiritual healing, I'm like, hello. Oh, huge in a good way. Let me find day 3. Where's day 3? Okay, this one. And then let me check who said. So much insight. Yeah, you're so welcome, Betsy. I know, how powerful is it? Is that similar to Dark Night of the Soul? Yes and no, I guess. Like, you know, and I just want to point out here, right? You know how, like, we go, oh, have a spiritual awakening. I believe we have spiritual awakenings all the fucking time, right? We have a spiritual awakening when we have a realization, and then we feel the grief in our heart from the abandonment we never got from, say, our mother, say we've been talking about, right? And if we don't feel the depth of the grief around the realization and what we just felt in that moment, that's when we step into dark night of the soul, because we're not willing to feel what happened in that moment that's triggering, like that we got triggered, that's triggering something deeper. Right? And so if we don't feel that emotion straight away type thing, or in the next couple of days, we actually take time to process it and then go, okay, go deeper in a child shadow work, as I've just been sharing, then that all piles up, and this is where we stay in here, right? And this is why I'm always saying, you know, like, you know, I guess I get a little bit frustrated in the way I'm like, how can I get this across to you guys? Like, not saying you don't get it, but I'm like, I want to be in person with you all to sit there and be with your emotions to show you what to do. Like, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Like, how do I teach to you guys when I'm doing videos and trainings and like all this stuff, right? So yes, awesome. I'm going to get to everyone who's joining me live on this live stream for a reading if you want one. For a journal, have to sketch and write it out. Yay, you're so welcome. I love these ideas come in, these out of the blue ideas. These like, oh, wow, that's an awesome idea. Where'd that come from? Hello, we're in claircognizance. All right, let me just check that I'm, sorry, hang on a sec. I need to make sure. So I just did Betsy's reading. I want to, oh no, please don't tell me the comments have gone off. Let's do a retreat. Yes. Okay. Okay, Betsy. Okay, let me quickly write these down because the comments are going off. Because I'm like, I've been talking for like an hour. How does my live streams always go for so long? We're going to need like a week retreat, guys, because we're going to talk for so long. Are you ready for a week retreat? That'd be pretty cool, actually. Okay, so Betsy, so I'm just writing, so we've got Loretta, Tracy. If you don't actually say, yes, please, Hannah, I want a reading, or yes, please, then I won't pull a card for you guys, just to let you know. To be clear. So I'm just writing it down. Okay, so Janaea, I think that's how you say your name. Retreat, yes. Okay, so Lavissa, I'm just writing these down just in case the comments keep going because they seem to be taking so long. I know, a week retreat, where did that just come from? That's such an awesome idea, right? Oh, you get more from me than any spiritual teacher out there. Thanks, Carrie. I feel touched hearing that. All right, cool. So I'm talking about both. I'm talking about day 3. We're up to day 3. Plus, I'm going to pull a card for Loretta. Because they all seem to be interlinking, of course. And the liquid crystal's power is coming in today. Okay. All right, so day 3 is the highly connected mind. So as I said, I'd be talking to all these comments and questions on each of your posts as well. So yeah. And yeah, Carrie, you're already talking about inner child work on there. Okay, and this is for Loretta. Yes. Let's make that shit happen. Yeah, that's right. I was actually just thinking, I'm like, right, so when my team comes in the next 2 weeks they're about to start, I'll have more space and have a team to help me do that sort of thing. Okay, interesting, right? This is for Loretta, and I've pulled the Larimar card. And Larimar is service. Can you guys see the being in this card too? So I'm going to activate that, tap it 3 times on the symbol. Can you guys see that being in the card and the big wings and holding that symbol? I never used to be able to see the beings in the cards until probably the start of this eclipse season, March, April for some reason, and I had all these shifts and I was like, oh my God, how come I'm never seeing the beings in the cards? It's kind of all I see in there now. So, Loretta, the Larimar card, and this is very much around service, but the message I'm specifically getting for you is, where are you giving too much service to other people, for example, and not enough to yourself? So that's, you know, we're talking about mothering, and we're talking about nurturing, and we're talking about all of that. Let me just see what jumps out at me from the book here. So, Larimar is, wherever Larimar goes, there is always a need for healing. The exciting thing is that she usually represents the last stage in the healing process, where one calls upon what they have learnt to help others. So it is about servicing yourself, but then that wisdom ensues and, you know, passes on to other people. So just checking in on the highly connected mind on day 3, just seeing how that is. Yeah, and that's okay. So this is where I was saying on day 3 I was talking about brain training, right? It's like how we've got the million-mile mind. It's like, how do we know the difference of our mind, ego, shadow, inner child, blah blah. And then it's like, how do we do that? It's about brain training. It's about putting into action all the tools that we've learned and going to the gym every single day. So I say going to the spiritual gym every single day and doing that. Now I just want to point out, right? So you know how Carrie is saying, do you still do inner child work and that sort of thing? I'm like, yes. Yep, especially because, and this is the thing where we get to own that mother goddess energy, be, you know, in that energy, in our cyclic nature of our emotions. Now I used to be my emotions used to rule me, right? I used to be my emotions. You know, people could say I used to be my inner child. Like my ex would always say, you act like you're 15. And I'm like, excuse me? Like in the start, yes, I do own that, right? And then as I, you know, I guess I grew up in that relationship, and then I, you know, actually put into action and practice the tools that I had. So when I was feeling something or being more conscious of my menstrual cycle and like, okay, well, I need to take extra care of myself. And, you know, I notice in my menstrual cycle when something is out of alignment that I'll get more period pain during that actual cycle, or like the 10 days before I actually bleed is like, look out world, like I need to really nurture myself. Otherwise people are going to get like burnt, right? Like they're going to get set on fire. But it's like, I need to just, I guess, harness my internal fire. But if something is out of alignment, then I'm showing that more so than in the start of my cycle, right? So the Larimar, Loretta, is about you know, like coming into yourself and your own. But I'm just getting the message for you, Loretta. It's about, where are you giving too much as well? Like, let's bring it back into that internal wisdom and tune in and ask your internal wisdom where and what you're guided to do, rather than just going, I need to help everybody, right? Like I've been like wanting to come live this week and do a thing, but I actually want to get all the filming done for Crown Chakra, and I'm like, okay, I just need to balance that. There's been, you know, there's been lots of big shifts this week. I think Saturn went direct and everything like that, but it just feels for you specifically, Loretta, around bringing that service back into yourself and asking, right? This is where we've got a million ideas and a million things we want to do. And, you know, it's like for me, I'm like, I want to live stream and I want to do this and I want to do that. It's like, hey, what's the most aligned action that I can take right now? What is the highest thing that I need to take action on right now? What is the most important thing that I need to tend to right now? Right? And that's, you've just started to set boundaries. Yes. Woohoo! Servicing yourself so you can service your higher vision. Right? So when you've got a million ideas and things you want to do, and I get like this all the time, and I'm like, what's the most important thing I need to do right now? The first thing that comes to mind, I act on that straight away. Everything else can wait. Yeah? Even dishes, even housework, all of that. This comes first. But there's always a zillion things going on, but I'm asking, what's the most important thing I need to do? And it might be setting boundaries, and it might be just taking some time out for myself. Yeah? So I love that that's confirming for you, Loretta, because when we set those boundaries, we're not so scattered in all our zillion miles of ideas. We're not all over the place. We're able to ground down this higher consciousness, this stream of spiritual energy that we've opened through our crown. We're able to ground it down by setting those boundaries and having that space to be able to go, oh, what's my heart feeling? Oh, do I need to do this process? Oh, okay. And I notice that when the more I connect to my inner child, the more trust I have in my inner self. I don't doubt my intuition, you know, like because I've got that inner trust, and she feels safe, so I feel safe. Now, if you're in my Trust Intuition course, the first thing I talk about in Trusting Intuition is about feeling safe. You must feel internally safe to be able to trust your intuition. And that starts with tending to your inner child, because it's always her or him that feels scared and abandoned, right? Okay. Prioritize service more, meaning these workshops. Boom. There we go. It is so powerful. It is. I want to share this with the world, but this is in our group, and this is what you get in here. I love that that's confirming that for you, Loretta. Shifting fast and it's hard to keep up. Yeah, and this is where, and I talk about this in the Crown Chakra, we open up and we get spiritual burnout because there is so much energy streaming through us, and this is where boundaries come in and so important, so we can harness and contain this energy and ask, what is the next most important thing I need to do? And even if I ask that question and I get something really random, like clean your bathroom cupboard, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't have time to do that, but I'll go and do it, and I'll do it fast and I'll do it quickly. And then I'm like, oh, that energy is shifted. I'm like, sweet. What's the next most important thing to do? Okay, I need to write a blog. Okay, do, right? It's like, you know, when we ask that question, we don't feel scattered, but when we ask that question, we're also asking our soul and our intuition, what's the most important thing our soul needs to do to stay on purpose, to stay on path. And when we act on that, when we've asked our soul and intuition that question, we're able to have those boundaries, we're able to stay aligned, we stay connected, like all of that amazing stuff, right? So I love that that was there for you and us with the Million Mile Mind. Okay, let me just check in for day 4. Where it is. And I'm up to Tracy. And I just saw someone else comment as well. I'm definitely going to get to all you guys that join me live for pulling a card. It's easier to do in this group than on a public live stream. It does create that sorted feeling, right? Because we get scattered, we get overwhelmed, and we don't sleep at night when we're not tending to the things we know we need to tend to during our day. And, you know, like for me, you know, like, yes, I meditate. Yes, I do inner child work and listen to the meditations and stuff like that. And that was the other thing I wanted to say before I forget again. So the more I connect with my inner child and I've built that trust and relationship, I go into the inner child meditation, right? And instead of actually, you know, going and sitting on the pillows and we're doing the little healing and talk and stuff, like she'll run to me before we even, like, you know, the meditation started. And I was like, before we even get to the sanctuary door, she's running to me and she's like, hey, come in. I'm like, oh, okay. We're going, like, not even into the sanctuary. We're like going into the sacred pine forest, and I've got like a healing fire there. And, you know, like then say Isis will step out of the fire and give me messages. And I'm like going to my inner child, but what about you? And she's like, no, this. And I'm like, okay, all right. Like sort of thing. So the more you build a relationship with your inner self, you receive amazing guidance and intuition, and we can act on that, right? Rather than just going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life. And I'm like, do these meditations and they will tell you, right? Sort of thing. Hey, Elizabeth. Yes, and it creates that clean, abundant feeling. Yeah, when we, you know, our soul, our intuition always knows what the next step is, right? And so instead of looking outside of ourselves and finding guidance, it's like tune in, right? Okay, so I found day 4. Okay, let me pull a card for Tracy. Let me have a drink. So, oh yes, I just wanted to talk about that spiritual burnout, and that's why asking the question helps us to contain our energy, because we're directing it in the next most important place to put it, rather than just being scattered mess and nothing getting done. And I just want to point out the difference between scattered mess and creative mess. When I'm in flow, when I'm creating a new project, like my office is like covered in paperwork and printouts and post-it notes, you know, like everywhere. Like I've still got a pile to go through. Like I write the ideas down and I put them all on. So they're out of my head, but it's all an organized creative mess. And if anyone comes in, they're like, whoa, but you know, and then I go through after I've just released something and I kind of put it all together and I'm like, cool, that thing's done, right, next. And then it'll all come through. Tracy, 2 cards actually came out for you. Interesting. Dioptase, right? 1, 2, 3. Can we see the being in that one? So dioptase is the healing heart. So interesting, what I'm talking about is dropping into the heart, right? When we open, the heart is automatically ignited. There's another message about this, but it's on top of Peridot, very green as well, the bringer of joy. Healing always happens when we feel, and it creates the joy. Oh my god, can anyone else see these beings? Look how clear that being is on that card. I don't know if anyone else can see. It's like the 2 eyes of the being, and then he's like 2 little legs down here. Like, oh my god, this is so clear. But I never used to be able to see the beings, by the way, so if you don't stress about it, because I never used to be able to see them. I've had these cards for like years. So it's interesting, and I just want to point out, this was on top of that, right? There's always healing going on, which is what I just shared with that process. Like everything I've just shared on this live stream. If you're just joining live, please watch the entire thing, even though it's long. If you want spiritual healing, this is where it's at today. When we have a realization, so spiritual awakenings happen all the time. When we have a realization about something, we're like, whoa, okay. And then it drops in, automatically ignites the heart. When we feel that emotion straight away, the healing heart, we're healing our heart. Underneath that all the time, joy is always sitting there. But if we're not consciously feeling every single emotion, right, And as I say that, it's not like, you know, like, and I just want to point out, when you start doing this work, when you start feeling your heart, there will be a backlog of hurt and pain that you've been carrying for how many years are you old, right? And it's not nice for quite some time because you're healing and shifting out that backlog. But once you've got a big chunk done, then you're able to step into that, like, you know, you feel this more and you become more in the observer of this than rather than feeling it all, right? So I really want to make that clear that there is a big backlog, and that's why people don't want to feel it. One, they don't know how, they don't have the support, it's looked frowned upon in society, blah, 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 right? Hey Keith, I see these comments, let me make sure I'm seeing them all. So Tracy, the healing heart, and I just want to read something in the dioptase. There's some message there. Interesting, because I know a bit of your background, Tracy. I've been working with Tracy on the 21-day shifter program, so it's kind of no surprise this card's come up for you. So on this day, the heart will be healed. Wherever dioptase goes, broken hearts are healed and carried into understanding. The presence of this crystal for you indicates some of the many lessons of love are ready to be embraced. Compassion, patience, non-judgment, listening, truthfulness, non-attachment, equality, and respect are all good starting points. Dioptase has come to hold the heart open. She indicates a new relationship or path of love. But remember, for new things to occur, one must be prepared to look forward, take action, and free attachments and expectations. So the message I'm getting for you, Tracy, is around the inner child stuff that I've just been speaking about on this live stream, right? Because those... so on this day, the heart will be healed. Wherever dioptase goes, broken hearts are healed and carried into understanding. So it's that space of, you know, like when we tend to our inner child, we're nurturing her in that understanding and the hurts that she's been carrying, because that's always where it stems from, right? So when you build that inner relationship, then you come into the lessons of love, i.e. compassion, patience, non-judgment, listening, truthfulness, non-attachment. We are that when we have that deep inner connection with that inner child, right? So what does it say? Oh, interesting. It says dioptase can also present when you have allowed others to cloud your judgment, so sit quietly alone and make your decisions. This crystal's presence tells you you have the answers. Yes, very interesting, right? So that's what I'd be recommending for you, because as you guys know, children usually are full of joy. And it's so interesting that peridot is like, you know, they're both green there, right? And the heart chakra's green. So really dropping into feeling any kind of remnants or hurt from the previous relationships. I know you've just gone through a big life change. And to really allow yourself to build that inner child connection, because then you can fully open up into your new relationship and, you know, be present with that, right? And actually let the love in without the fear of getting hurt again. And I guess I say fear of getting hurt, it's not that we'll never get hurt again, it's that we get more savvy in how to support ourselves if, you know, little hurts happen. Like we always get triggered, right? Like we're human, it's always going to happen. But when we've got these tools with everything I've been sharing on this live stream, we're able to shift it quicker and quicker and quicker, so we don't get stuck in it and we experience the joy all the time, most of the time, right? Yes, these are the liquid crystal cards. They are awesome. Awesome schmossome. Very, very powerful too. Okay, let me check. There was some comments here. Yes, yeah, write them down. I've got a book of ideas. I've got an ideas book. I've got a diary. I've got a journal, and I had something else. But yeah, I've got an ideas book, blogs, courses, all that sort of thing, just so that I don't have piles and piles of post-it notes like all around the place. But then I've got a diary that I tune into every day and schedule my days ahead. And then I've got this, and then I've got my journal that I write all my like process work and stuff in. So I've got lots of books, but I like to be organized because I've got that creative Let's put them all, like channel them, channel, right? Okay. It's like you're afraid of stepping onto your purpose. You can always write and not post, too, by the way. 111. Yes, yeah, very, very powerful, Dorothy. And yeah, Keith, if you're just joining, I definitely recommend watching the entire of this live stream, even though it's very long, if you really want spiritual healing. Super, super powerful. Someone else joined live and, oh yeah, Janaea. So who am I up to? Oh, Janaea. Is Janaea still live? Is Lavissa still live? And is Lisa still live? Can you please let me know if you guys are still here? And Carrie would like one as well. Sure thing. And Leanne. Okay, so there's more. So Carrie. Thanks, Elizabeth. All right, awesome. Janaea and Lavissa. I said I would like speak to your comments, but I'm like, just all this other stuff has been channeling through, and maybe this is just what I'm supposed to do. Because some of them I have spoken about that. Oh, I'm hungry. My tummy's rumbling. Yes, you guys can have a card. Let me just check. Oh, and day 5 yesterday, when I channeled that, I was like, holy shit. Like, but that makes sense. Like, if you guys end up doing the full crown chakra training, once it's released out of the Life Purpose Mentorship, unless you want to come in there, it's literally like, you know, in light field yoga, the light field yoga sequences, we're activating the sacred geometric shape around our body. It's really, really powerful. And when I channeled day 5 for you guys yesterday, which I'm just trying to find for some reason, it was literally like that comes through. Okay, I can't find it. I obviously just need to leave that for now. And just trust that pulling the cards is what I'm meant to do. Okay, so this is for Janaea. Yes, I am, Elizabeth. Please say yes, please. I would love a card. Okay. I'm just writing down names because the comments go off otherwise. Okay, so this is for Janaea. Personal power in action, Tiger's Eye. So with everything I've been sharing on this live stream, this is, you know how we've been saying, like, so you open our crown and then our heart is activated, and everything I've just shared, I won't repeat it all. When we take action on our feelings, obviously the heart is here and then our solar plexus is directly underneath. This is our personal power. This is where we feel confident. This is where we trust ourselves and our intuition. This is where we feel worthy enough to let love in. Because when we're tending to ourselves and our own emotions, inner child, all that stuff I've just been sharing, our personal power increases. Because we're tending to our own needs, we're coming down into the body, right? So we've had our spiritual awakening, we're coming in and we're feeling consciously, authentically, and then our confidence increases, right? So this is where you'll see, like, people, you know, people say to me, you're so grounded, you're so good at, you know, you're like intuition, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, because I'm consciously feeling, and then I'm, you know, feeling empowered by that rather than letting everything stay up here in my head, which is how I used to be, right? And I know this because I used to be that person. I used to be that narcissistic bitch who would judge everyone else and not look at herself. Like, I used to be that person. This is why I can speak about it so deeply, right? So for Janaea, where do you need to take back your power is the message that I'm getting for you specifically, right? So, you know, is there some inner work that you need to do? Is there something that you need to do to, I'm getting the message there's a thread, Janaea, so there's a thread in your life that is pulling on your energy, and I don't know if it's because you're just not tending to it or kind of pretending it's not happening or something like that, but I'm just curious if there's something that's pulling on your energy that is, I don't want to say out of balance. It just feels like it there's something that needs tending to, is the message that I'm getting. So I'm curious. A healer who is supporting me, okay? Yeah, like they're pulling on your energy. I just feel like there's something that's, I just don't know if it's out of balance or whatever, but it's just something that needs tending to. So maybe it's about, I don't know, it's something that needs tending to. Because it's a personal power and action. So as I just said, when we're actually taking action on the messages we receive, that's where our personal power increases. That's where the energy keeps flowing, right? And down, because we are like putting it into action, so the energy keeps flowing rather than us getting stuck and depressed and stagnant because we're not taking action on those ideas. So they're all kind of piling up, right? When we take action, we're able to keep that flow going. The energy keeps flowing, right? Is it the healer that is supporting me? I feel like, are they male? I don't know. I'm getting a male. It's something else. No, I'm not getting that. I'm just going to see what jumps out at me in the book here. Okay. I'm just going to read it and see what jumps out, because something is... So, when Tiger's Eye enters your life, good luck and wealth follow. But in order to receive, you must be prepared to take action, not move into reaction. So, again, that's like the inner child stuff that we were saying. And, he's male. Okay. Yeah, well, maybe then, right? So, we give our power away to healers when we feel like we can't do it ourselves, right? And this is why I'm always like, here's the tools, do it yourself. Don't rely on me. Go and do that, right? Simply because of that. Okay. So it says here, like, take caution with whatever presents itself, remembering that true action has no fear, regrets, or limitations. It is the purest measure of personal power mastered for the betterment of all. So I'm curious if there has been, like, I'm curious if there has been like a fear instilled in you in some way. Like, is there... Okay, and this is the message I'm getting. So when we allow others to pull on our energy, I rarely see healers. Like, there's a lot of people send me messages and want to read me or do free readings and stuff, and I've kind of put a bit of a, not a block, I'm just like, no, I'm all good, thanks. Just because obviously they're tuning into my energy, and it's not I don't like people tuning into my energy, but when I open myself up to receive a healing, I also need to, I don't know, like I end up stepping into more of me being the healer rather than me receiving the healing, just because of I feel everything, right? So I guess, and the message I'm getting for you, Janaea, is where are you doing that in the session? So like, I'm just getting the message like your gifts are way more, not powerful than theirs. I just feel like you're way more aware of things than they are in a way, and I feel like you're going to them to look for guidance and help, which is nothing wrong with that. But because, and I'm getting the message that it's showing you actually where you are with your gifts, sort of thing. So when we go to someone else and we're like, heal me or whatever, we give our power away or we open ourselves up, and which is what we kind of need to do, right? But then it's coming into boundaries, self-worth, understanding, self-esteem, and trust in yourself and your abilities and the messages you're receiving, instead of trusting them over what your intuition is getting. When we trust someone else over what our own intuition giving, that's when we give our power away. When we do that, that's when we take on their energy. So when you said there's a dumping energy there, I would be asking yourself, where are you still giving your power away to them? Where are you still looking to them over your own intuition, like, sort of thing? Like, I'd just be checking in. As I said, there's nothing wrong with that. And I just went through this with a mentor, recently, and I was just like, got so entangled up because I just like, I thought she was like the God. I did have her on a pedestal and didn't realize at the time. So it's kind of like bringing them off the pedestal and going, okay, what is truth for me? And this is where I'm always saying to you guys in all my trainings and everything, I'm like, where, I'm sharing this advice with you guys, or I'm helping you, but please tune into what your intuition says over what I say, right? Because I don't want you guys to get attached to me, because I'm not your healer. Your healer is your soul. With everything I've just shared on this live stream, then you can, tune into your own intuition. So, personal power and action, when it says here, you must be prepared to take action. And when it says take caution with whatever presents itself, remembering that true action has no fear, regrets, or limitations, you know, like when we're confident in ourselves and when we trust ourselves, we don't, like there is no fear. Do you know what I mean? And that comes from everything I've just shared on this live stream about connecting with the inner child, and that trust with the inner child empowers you to take the action you need to do, right? So I'm curious, you know, where you're needing to step back. Doesn't mean that you can't speak to them or anything like that. I'd just be, you know, on an energetic level, I would be questioning everything in a sense of, okay, that's you know, things you can say, so you're not energetically just taking on everything they're telling you to do or healing you or whatever. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, how does that resonate with me? Then you have your truth filter and you're only letting the truth of what's right for you, right? That's what I'd be recommending. I don't know, is that, does that help there? Hey Heidi, Tracy, I did pull a card for you. I'm not sure if you saw it. You did you did catch me live. I'm getting tired. Been talking for like, I don't know, was it an hour and a half now or something? Okay, so, Lavissa. If you guys are just joining live, and you missed the start of this live stream, I know it's a long live stream, but if you want spiritual healing at its best and how to work this spiritual stuff and not burn out and stuff, please rewatch the live stream. Like, there is gold in this one. This is Lavissa. This is Celestite knowing his beautiful beings through these cards. I feel like I don't want to own my gifts. Part of it. Yeah. Yep. Yes, I do need to drink some more water. I just had something there. What was I going to say there? And I'm hungry too. I'm like, oh, I won't be long on this live stream, like an hour and a half later. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. Yes. And that's the thing. I will. What was I just going to say? Yeah, like you don't want to own your gifts. And that was what happened to me recently, right? I like went into this, you know, this group and this mentor and stuff. And I was like, yeah, like teach me how to earn millions of dollars. And like, I did learn a lot, of course. I also learned, I don't know if it's like the power of my gift. That's not the right words and I'm trying to put across. It showed me my gifts and what the power in stepping into a group, in stepping into learning from a mentor and stepping into doing everything. The power in, I guess, getting caught up, or the gift, I should say, the gift in getting caught up in somebody else's teachings is that it teaches us to trust ourselves. It teaches us to trust our own intuition. This is why my course is Trust the Intuition, right? So the shower cleanse, I just had a shower this morning. It's 8:30 a.m. here now. So anyway, you know, it teaches us to trust ourselves. So when you're able to, you know, like go into any situation and we're like, oh, yeah, that's really interesting information. How does that resonate with me? It immediately asks our soul what our truth resonance is. So we're not getting blindsided and just caught up in other people's teachings. That's why I'm like, tune in to what your intuition is saying. Even with my clients, I'm like, I'm getting this message. However, if your intuition tells you something else, please listen to that over me, right? All the time. I know I'm drinking bottled water, but I can't get enough of this this Icelandic glacial. It's like from Iceland. Like when I first saw it in the shop, I'm like, Jesus, you've traveled a long way. And then I didn't realize till the other day it's actually alkaline water, and I was like, oh, is that why I'm drawn to it? It's just intuitive shopping there. Okay, so Lavissa, the Celestite knowing, we're talking about trusting ourselves, right? It's knowing what's right for you and not like getting caught up, right? So let me just check. And the thing is, like, how do you not get caught up in other people's teachings? It's like, you know when enough is enough. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you learn something new and you absorb it all, and then it's like you know when you need a break, or you know when you need to just, okay, cool, that's done. Like, you know when it's done too, right? And it's trusting yourself that you've got what you needed from that space. You might come back into it, you might not, and this is like trusting the ebb and flow. Oh, look what it says. It says your trust in self is being tested. I love this. You are being asked to stand in your wisdom and power with love as the answer and guide. Oh my God, I love that. Boom. Do I need to say any more? Whatever issues you are currently involved in, remember, when you truly know you are right, the world doesn't need to know or how, right? Entering into such spaces simply shows you don't trust yourself. The path of true knowing is often that of patience, silence, and love. Think and know before you act or speak. You have entered a very spiritual phase in your life. Draw yourself inward with acceptance of all around you, as it is all valid and has purpose. Ride the waves of life. Often divinity is hidden in the physical world, but with trust and knowing as your guide, all will be revealed. Celestite also presents when we must listen to ourselves more carefully in the world. Do I seriously need to fucking say anything else? I'm like, oh, boom. I'm like, oh my God, that's so amazing, right? Seriously, if you guys have just joined this live stream, you know, I know this is a long live stream, but seriously, there is gold in here. Oh my goodness me, I love this. That's why I had to come live in here with you guys. I love it. I don't need to say any more from that. I'm sorry. That's like, it's so clear, right? All right, Lisa. I am pulling a card for Lisa. And here we go. And this is Chrysoprase, fearless movement, right? This is about when we trust ourselves, we're able to move forward. And yeah, the Chrysoprase is, you know, about that kind of forward movement. So Lisa, I'm curious, right? Like, I'm wondering if there's something that you've been doubting about doing, but it's like this, I'm getting the message, I'm like, no, it's correct. And it's interesting, right? It's come up the green, which is the heart. So the Chrysoprase. Okay. Yes. So the presence of Chrysoprase for you signals the opening of a new and creative pathway that will be filtered through the heart under the guidance of your highest parts, right? So connecting to your intuition, connecting to your higher self, connecting to all of that. Yes, so Chrysoprase helps us recognize our infinite nature. If we embrace unconditional love, and being the green frequency guides us in allowing that to come into the physical world. It's so interesting, right? Yeah, so Chrysoprase is very much about following your heart, a practice that often creates the most beautiful things in the world, but in order for it to do it, personal power and your individual spirit must be taken along on the journey, which again is confirming everything that I've just been sharing on here, right? And I'm getting the message specifically for you, Lisa, around like what you're wanting to do is right. Like don't doubt it. You know, we're talking about claircognizance week this week. It's like the ideas you've been getting are correct. Your heart comes alive when you think about them. Yes, take action on them. Don't don't doubt that. Now's not the time for doubting it. Now's the time for putting it into action, because whatever you're going to do is going to be like your heart is guiding you there. And I just want to point out when we don't feel all our feelings, and like with everything that I've spoken about in this live stream, and we're full of feelings and we don't feel, that's when we do step into doubt. That's when we do step into, I guess, fear or being scared to take action because of all the feelings that are sitting there. And when we're clear and we keep moving through the process, like I've been sharing this entire live stream, when we do that, we're able to, like, we release that fear, right? We're able to, the fear's kind of not there because we trust our heart, we trust our inner child. Like, we've gone through all that process. So if you are still doubting, Lisa, I'd be asking yourself, like, hurt or pain might be sitting in your heart that, you don't want to get hurt again, or you don't want to do that because you don't want to get hurt again. It's the message I keep getting. So I'd be checking in with that, right? Audrey, what have you missed? Pure gold on this live stream. It is a very long live stream, but if you want full spiritual healing, I'd highly recommend watching the entirety of this live stream. Okay, Carrie. All right, so I'm going to pull cards. Audrey's going to be the last person though, because I need to eat. Citrine for Carrie. Hello, Carrie. As if you need this one. Well, you do need this one. Like, what is the chances, right? And this being coming out. So this is, Citrine, it is abundance, but it's also deeply connected to personal power. I know it looks orange in this card, but when you actually look at a piece of citrine, it's quite yellow. It does have the orange in there, but this is about when you just said before, Carrie, So you know you need to write. Oh, and by the way, yeah, okay, Carrie, so just seeing that message there. So I can tell you that today I put your tiger's eye on and you need to pull your power back from a big situation. Because I was just getting the message for you, like, so you know how, like, you're saying that you need to do the inner child work and all that sort of thing. Like the citrine abundance, like you'll be able to step into your power and, you know, say, you know, you need to write, but you said earlier that you feel like you're scared of it type thing. Just inner child work, like everything I've been saying on this live stream. If you build that inner connection with your inner child, and again, it's not just like just once, like, you know, and I say to people when we start doing inner child work, right, especially if you haven't done it for a long time, or if you've ever done it, when you go into that inner child meditation, your inner child might not be there, or they might not look at you, or they'll be kind of shy or anything like that. When you go in on a regular basis, you build that connection. I want you to look at it as though when you look at inner child work as though you're looking for a child in real life. Imagine your child went missing, or a child that you care about went missing, and you're like, oh, let's go and look for them, right? And you go to the park and you're like, oh, they're not here, oh, fuck it, like, you know, whatever's, and you just don't look for them. Like, they're gonna feel pretty abandoned, right? So it's the same with your inner child. When you just go in there once, or you go, you know, around, you know, sort of thing, you know, you just do it a couple of times, they're gonna feel pretty abandoned because you're not going in there all the time, right? So if you want a really strong relationship with yourself, with your intuition, if you want a strong relationship with anybody in your life, if you do inner child work on a regular basis, your whole thing changes, right? Plus, let alone the fear that you might have around stepping into your power and giving, like, sharing your gifts with the world, right? I love that you've already been carrying around citrine as well for the entire week. Probably a dog walking past. Are you up, Adeo? I thought I heard her wake up. Can you put them outside, please? I thought I heard her get up. She was asleep earlier. She slept until midday the other day. All right. Leanne, rhodochrosite, self-love. This is the cat, connected to cats. So self-love, being able to take care of yourself, nurture yourself, lots of orange in there. This card reminds me of peach calcite, which is, they're telling you to do inner child work. And the dogs are also about forgiveness, which is rose quartz in the heart. So reconnecting to your heart, reconnecting to the love, and forgiving yourself for not going in there for so long, right? But yes, so this is for Leanne, and it is about like reconnecting to yourself. It's self-love, right? Self-love, boundaries, taking care of yourself, honoring yourself, what you need, right? And like I was saying, like peach calcite is very similar colors in the card. And peach calcite is harmonized. So and getting very big sacral chakra stuff for you, Leanne, when we're able to take care of ourselves, nurture ourselves, everything I've been talking about on this live stream, we're, you know, and we're kind of dropping down, right? If you've noticed, the cards have been pulling for everyone, we're kind of at the heart, and then we're at the solar plexus, and now we're at the sacral, which is underneath the solar plexus, right? When we do all these things that I've been sharing, we nurture ourselves. And I just want to point out that this is why I'm so passionate about starting from the top of the chakras coming down. This is the consciousness of each chakra that I've been talking about. I hope you've been aware of this. And when we do all this inner work, we feel nourished at our core because our soul is coming into our body. And you know how I always say, the only thing that nourishes us at our core is our soul, because it's coming into our body like this and housed in our body. When we reach the base chakra, which is underneath the sacral, that's when we have the confidence to birth our life purpose and come down, right? So, Leanne, where are you needing to, I'm getting the message for you, Leanne, around setting boundaries around your time, energy, that so you can nurture yourself. So that's the message for you, Leanne. Is Elizabeth and Keith and Dorothy and Audrey still here? Please let me know. So boundaries for people too. And that's the thing where Okay, so I've just pulled this card for Elizabeth, but it's the same card that came out for Cody at the start, right? So Elizabeth, kyanite is alignment, and the blue is really shining out like in so much in this card right now. This, and I was getting the message like obviously for Cody, but earlier, and like kyanite's deeply connected to crows or raven, and this is it's about coming into alignment with your life purpose, right? But I'm just getting this. There's some other message coming through for you too. So I know, like specifically, like it says here, so and I know because I've just been working with you too, so I know a little bit of your history as well, Elizabeth. So if kyanite has carried its powerful aligning and healing light into your life, you are being shown something that is out of alignment with your goals, purpose, or chosen direction. We make decisions on the physical world based solely on what we have experienced or learned in the past. And so this comes into alignment with what I worked with you about too. It's kind of like, okay, like this is happening, but let's move forward in this direction. Because it says the role of kyanite for you today, your spirit is ready to fine-tune an aspect of your existence. Sit quietly and listen, but do not expect answers. As a physical mind, these may be words the world has never heard. Which I'm pretty sure, well, we did speak about life purpose when I spoke to you before, and it just feels like that aspect when it said your spirit is ready to fine-tune an aspect of your existence, and it feels like, which is pretty much, I know this just sounds like confirming what we already spoke about, but I'm like, it's right. Like, just like continue doing that, because right now you are fine-tuning and tuning in and tuning in and tuning in and tuning in, right? So it just feels like that's perfectly in alignment. But the other thing I wanted to point out when I was saying, I'm like, look at the blue on that card, right? Yeah, I know, it's like the same. I'm like, I'm kind of getting the same message as when I spoke to you. The blue, so like the light blue was really jumping out at me, and it's like, that's the throat chakra and the shadow stuff. So plus, throat is not only just speaking your truth, but living your truth, which is, coming down and grounding our truth and our life purpose down, and birthing that. But I'm wondering if some shadow work might help you too. So, just, I don't know, it just feels like there's something else that needs to be spoken, and not kind of in the physical world, but to yourself, like your soul talking to yourself about something, which obviously might be the information, which is kind of what it says, right? Sit quietly and listen, but do not expect answers. As a physical mind, these may be words the world has never heard. So it's like, it just feels like your soul is wanting to tell you more, right? Your soul has got something for you, like wants to speak to you. So I'm curious about that for you. All right, so Keith. Oh, you totally got a message. Boom, straight away. There we go. Love it. Okay, can you put a link to where to buy the book and the cards, please? Yes. So I'm pretty sure you can buy them off the website. So they are an Australian guy, and they're created a bit, sorry, I'm trying to think and talk and I can't because I'm hungry. Okay, one thing at a time because I'm hungry. Sorry, I'm just going to put this, you can buy them off the website. I was going to say, because they are Australian, they're created quite differently to the bushflower essences. The link that I'm going to put in, by the way, guys, is the website, but you can actually type your name in, and it says calculate, like just type your first name in and press calculate, and it actually comes up with your life purpose crystals. So if you guys want to do that and share what crystals you get in the group, would be awesome. I'd love to see all you, see what crystals we've got in the group, right? It's kind of like, sorry, I need to concentrate one thing. I just put the link in the comments then. So obviously that's the website, and you can buy the book from there, I'm sure. Like, it comes as a pack, the two. And but you can type your name in and see what your life path, life purpose crystals are just from your name. Sometimes you can just have one life path. I've actually got two. So yeah, I'd be curious to see what crystals you guys get. I'd love to hear you share in the group. You're so welcome, Elizabeth. All right, Keith, this one's for you. And Doreen, yes, I can pull a card and then that will be all because I'm really hungry. I've been on here for ages. Yes, do have a look and post in the group. Okay, so this is for Keith. Dioptes, the Healing Heart, which I pulled for Tracy before too. And I'm just wondering, I'm getting the message around a female in your life. So, I don't know if you guys can hear my stomach there. Sorry, it's like I'm super hungry. Next time I'll eat beforehand because I was like, I'll just do a quick live stream like 2 hours later. Anyway, it's nice to connect with you guys. So, Keith, I'm getting the message around a female in your life and I'm wondering if you're in a relationship or whether there's a, like a past relationship of, you heard it, yeah, I'm hungry. You love that, Crystal. You did just say that before too. I just feel like there's a thread or something to a woman that maybe you're still holding on to, or I'm not sure if you're in a relationship or not, but it just feels like there's some unhealed pain or unspoken words that maybe you want to say to her or you haven't. If you can't speak to her, like maybe do a higher self meditation. I'm getting the message for you about that to be able to, I don't know, and it almost feels like I say, a block in a sense of like, because that's sitting in your energetic field, nothing new can come in. So I don't know if you're in a relationship or not. Say if you're not in a relationship, it's like that's kind of blocking you from letting any future love in, but it just feels like there's some words that need to be spoken there, like feelings in the heart and stuff, but I feel like it's directed to a woman. So if you can't, like I said, speak to them, I'd be doing a meditation and speaking to the higher self or even shadow work. So shadow work is integrating, that part of ourself, but we can also have those sorts of healings that, do the higher self meditation. Yeah. You're not, so if that's someone from your past, like I just feel like there's something, I don't know, just maybe even the grief that it didn't work with her or something like that, which we hold on to, we don't want to feel, but that also blocks us from letting in new love, right? All right, so Dorothea, and then Audrey, and then Doreen, and then I'm out of here because I'm starving. Me and being hungry is not a good combo. Yes, awesome. Yeah, inner child will be loving that support there. Okay, so Dorothea. Ooh, you got Tiger's Eye too. So I'm not sure if you saw when I pulled the Tiger's Eye card before, but it is about like allowing that, like giving your power away. And I'm getting the message for you, Dorothea. It's the same kind of message. Where are you, it's tricky for me to say this, like get the right words of what I'm trying to say, right? So where are you giving your power away and thinking that you're not good enough to do what they're doing? And it's kind of a bit deeper than that, in a sense of like, it just feels like you're supporting someone so much to chase their dreams, but you're not chasing your dreams. So it's almost like, and this is interesting, like when we talk about shadow work and we, I guess in essence, we project or support someone so much, but inside it's because we want to do that, or we want to, but sometimes we can be scared to do that ourselves. So we're fully supporting someone else to do it, right? So when we take back our power and own our gift and drop into that space. Now, the message I'm getting for you, Dorothea, is there's some past life stuff there, sitting there in your heart because of obviously something happened in a past life. Maybe you were living your dreams or chasing your dreams, but you might got killed or something else kind of happened. So this lifetime you're scared to step into that power to be able to actually do what you're born to do, right? So I'd be doing the past life meditation. It's not on my website. I'm about to create an audio meditation page today, tomorrow, over the weekend. Because I'm just like getting the message to like have all these packs available for you guys, right? So yeah, I'll pop the link on there. Oh, I can just put it in here too, actually. I'm pretty sure I've got it. Anyway, the point is that it feels like there's, if you do some past life work around that, plus supporting your inner child in feeling safe in this lifetime too, to be able to do that. It's not that you can't support people in chasing their dreams and stuff. It's just like, notice when that feeling of over-giving steps in, where you're like, and you start to get resentful only because you're not chasing your own dreams and doing what you really want to do in life, right? There's a delicate fine balance, yeah? So that's for you, Dorothea. And then we've got Audrey and Doreen. You're so welcome, Keith. I did just put the past life link in for you too. Audrey, equality in love. This is my shadow crystal, I think. When you look on the life purpose crystals on the website there, pretty sure that's for me. I can't remember, but I remember working with this a lot. Oh, because Morganite, yes it is. Sorry, I'm just like talking about me. This is my crystal now. I love it. It's my shadow crystal because this is actually, oh no, it's not. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Morganite is the equality of love. I do have it in my thing. That's why I do recognize it. Hey, Wooch. Wooch, mate. You're barking at. Oh, there's people out the front, that's why. He like just constantly barks at any tiny little noise of people or neighbors and stuff. And I'm on edge because I'm hungry. I'm like, shut up. Okay, interesting. Are you in a relationship, Audrey? Can you please let me know if you're in a relationship? Did you say yes? It's interesting, right? Because, so what's, I'm just going to read. So relationship is the key word here. Be sure that you are expressing and listening from the heart. So I don't think that you've watched the entirety of this live stream. No, but you're still married. Okay. Please rewatch the live stream, right? Like I said, it's long, but the first kind of hour is like pure gold of like spiritual healing. And just only because it says here, relationship is the key word. Be sure that you're expressing and listening from the heart, right? So if there's a whole pile of pain and grief in the heart from all the shit that went on and you haven't felt that, you'll be speaking from the quote unquote ego mind, and all that hurt will be talking instead of allowing yourself to feel, to heal, and then come back into the equality of love and express that in the relationship, right? So because you said you're not, but you're still married, so it sounds like going through big separation stuff. So please watch this live stream again, because there's like everything I want to say to you. I'm like, I just said it in the live stream about how to heal from this to come back into your heart, and not be kind of, you know, carrying that pain. So what else is going to, yeah, and it says these people and mutual experiences have been chosen by you to sculpt and help you become everything you've decided to be in the world. Yeah, and it just feels like there's a big like connection to that as well. And I'm curious if you've been feeling like it's been hard to breathe or something. Like I'm picking up lung stuff for you, which is obviously, you know, like when we've got too many feelings in our heart, we haven't felt that grief, we can have anxiety or like, you know, actually have physical pain in the heart too. Please watch the live stream. I want to say more, but I'm like, I literally said what I want to say to you in that live stream. So yeah, please go and rewatch the start. About the first hour, like I said, I know it's long, but seriously, if you want deep healing, that's where you'll find it, right? All right. So this one is for Doreen, and then I'm jumping off this live stream. Thanks for joining me live, guys. I know there's still some of you here. And I'm trusting that this helps understand the claircognizance. Like that first hour was like pure gold on that. Okay, cool. This is yours. It just jumped out, Doreen. And what was I just going to say? Yeah, and so just be mindful, right? So we're stepping into third eye week now, which means, you know, and it's already come in, like, you know, you're seeing the truth in relationships, the relationship dynamics, the relationship dynamics you have within yourself, right? With everything I spoke about on this live stream, shadow work, inner child, how the connection with your crown, the connection with your heart, blah, 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 the connection with the cycles of emotions and life. That's a relationship. We have a relationship to that. We have a relationship to our emotions. We have a relationship to how we react to things. We have a relationship to how we handle things, right? So we've already stepped into that energy is what I'm saying. So be mindful today, tomorrow, you know, and going into next week. And it's interesting. So in next week, and then we're dropping into the ears the week after. So the ears and the heart deeply connected, and the base chakra, but it's about listening. So instead of reacting and staying up here with all the hurt, can we listen to our heart? Can we listen to the feelings? Can we listen to all that before we say something, right? So I always say, go and do your internal work. And then if you need to say something in the relationship, then, you know, like do your internal work first. And if you still do, like if you do your internal work and then you still need to say something, it's an awesome time to say it because you're not full of feelings, right? So when you can go and do that internal work, sometimes you don't even need to say anything in the physical relationship because you've done the internal work and that's actually where it was coming from, right? So you're very welcome, Larissa. I always keep on calling you Larissa, and Audrey. So this is for Doreen, and it's interesting, right? The egoless state. Look how beautiful blue that is as well. Very throat there, an egoless state, hemimorphite. I love hemimorphite. The crystal is amazing when you see it in real life too. Hemimorphite is about, like, you know, well, the message I'm getting is like releasing all the judgmental thoughts. So Doreen, if you didn't catch the start of this live stream as well, please go and watch it because we're talking about, you know, being stuck in our crown chakra, being stuck in our claircognizance, which is what we've just been in. And we do that if we're not feeling the emotions in our heart, because when we open our crown and we have the spiritual awakening, boom, our heart activates as well. And that's why spiritual awakenings don't feel nice, because we're actually feeling for the first time in our life. And there's usually a bucket load of pain sitting there. So people don't feel it and they go around telling everyone else how to heal and don't do the work themselves, which is what I used to do. So I can speak about it like this, right? I know the entire process. So it says here, oh, this is interesting, right? If hemimorphite has come to you today, it's a friendly reminder that we are all responsible for our actions. Take a good look at what is happening in life and make sure that you're retaining your personal power and acting from an egoless state. Now, if this isn't a card to finish the entire of this live stream, well, I don't know what is, right? Like, oh my goodness. It's everything that I've just been talking about. All truthful acts should harm none, benefit all, and stream directly from love in the name of unity, right? That's bringing that, you know, if we look at what I've been saying about opening our crown and opening our claircognizance, and that streams into our heart, and it does because the heart is automatically aligned with the will of spirit, which is love, right? So when we are able to and stream directly from love in the name of unity, because we come in, and that's the head and the heart connection as well, let alone the effect of, you know, love itself in life, right? Hemimorphite can also present when there is a need to embrace an important role from another lifetime. I just shared the past life meditation. Or when a loved one has recently passed and wishes to communicate with you. Make sure also that you are not being taken advantage of. So this is, again, that personal power where you're giving your power away. This stone can appear to let you know you need to recover a part of yourself from someone else's creation. Seriously, thanks Doreen for asking for a card, because this like finishes the entire live stream, as I said, about not getting caught up in other people's teachings, not even my own. Like, what I teach you guys is like, you know, tune into what's right for you, don't listen to me. Like, you know, like we can take in information, like there's so much information in the world, and it's like having the truth filter. Oh, there's the blue. What resonates with me? What's my truth? Oh, that's really interesting. How does that resonate with me? Right? And decide for yourself, and then trust yourself. We give our power away when we don't trust ourselves, when we don't feel safe, and we want somebody else to do it for us, right? Which stems back into that inner child and everything I've been talking about. So, Doreen, I ask you, is there a part of you that you're still kind of like, I guess it's the same, and I'm getting that message around the personal power, like where are you giving your power away instead of trusting yourself and doing what you know you need to do without needing that validation? So that'd be dropping into inner child work again and being able to support yourself in that space, right? And dropping into the heart to feel it rather than having that judgment of that there too. And I'm getting the message about not judging your heart for what it wants to, Doreen, specifically. It's like, you know, like your heart wants what your heart wants. Actually, I think it's funny because the blog or the little quote thing I'm going to release today, let me see. That's so interesting. I was going to release that today. Timing. I just want to read it because it's important and powerful. So you want what you want, right? You want what you want. soul desires, ego desires, heart desires, there really isn't any separation when you release the label. It just is what you want, and that's okay. Pure. It's just like, you know, when we release that, we step into trust, we step into freedom. We step into freedom, right? When we can just be like release the judgment about what our heart wants. Whether our heart wants a relationship, whether our heart wants to leave a relationship, whether our heart's not happy in our job, like, you know, and then our mind steps in and tries to find a reason why we need to stay in that. Or the mind will always talk your heart out of what it wants, always. So when we release the labels, oh, that's an ego desire, I better not have that. Like, I can't believe when people say that. I'm like, are you serious? Right? When you release the label, soul desire, heart desire, ego desires, there really isn't any, there's no separation. It's just you want what you want, and that's totally okay, right? So, releasing the judgment about what your soul and your heart is calling you to do. And please rewatch this live stream. If you're just joining on, hey Sonia, I'm seeing you, and Brittany, if you guys want deep spiritual healing around claircognizance, heart, and how to really own your power and drop down to birth your life purpose, like, please watch. I know it's a very long live stream, like, but the first hour is pure gold in this. Yeah, if you really want that, please watch the live stream. So thank you for joining me live, guys. I'm gonna go and eat some food because I'm starving, and next time I'll eat breakfast before I jump on live. I'm like, I'll just do a quick live stream like 2 hours later, okay? So I think it's about 2 hours in here. When did I come on? 7? Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Okay. Time for me to get some food and some more water. I will be back in here probably same time next week. So if you can't make the live stream, please comment your questions in the group and I will answer them. I know I didn't specifically go through the comments, so I will just like read through the comments that you guys have done and make sure that I did cover it. And if I didn't, I will answer them for you, of course. As I said, we're stepping into third eye this week, into our clairvoyance. So be mindful of all relationship stuff coming up for you, and I look forward to sharing this free training with you. If you don't have the $19 Get Clear course, and you want that, you know, that spiritual, you know, like in that Get Clear, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 meditations that specifically heal those, your organs of that. So I'd highly recommend getting those meditations that specifically heal your claircognizance, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, if you really want to get super clear in your intuition and build that relationship with your intuition. So as I said, we're talking about relationships. Got a relationship with everything, right? So I'll just put the link in the comments there. Oh, thanks, Doreen. Yes, eat. Yes, I need to eat. Yes, please rewatch. Seriously, there's some like just gold. Like I want to share this publicly. You know, I'm like, there's pure gold in it, but it's for you guys in here. So just pop that link in the comments, and if you haven't got that, it's $19. It will be going up to $49 back on my website at the end of September after we've finished this free training. So if you want that deep, you know, going into the depths, like there's video trainings in there of each of the organs and how we receive our intuition, plus the deep healing of, you know, like, so like, for example, the ears or the third eye, they've got 3 parts to it. It's like the front, the middle and the back, and then we're like doing deep healing to make sure it's all functioning properly and connecting to, you know, your physical body as well. So it's definitely worth it. And yes, that's all. I'm out here, gonna go eat. Thank you so much for joining me live. And if you join live next week, I will be pulling cards, and I'll trust, you know, as I go through, we're talking about it, and it is deep spiritual healing if you join, or even watch the replay. So I look forward to seeing you this time next week, or 2 hours ago, this time next week. And super proud of you guys in the group. You're doing amazing and supporting and loving each other, and I super love that, because we just did the Calling in Your Soulmate Friendships live stream in here the other week, and I really want to acknowledge that, like, look how it's all bloomed, and you guys have got all these like connections, and I just like, my heart's like, oh, look at this, like, it's so, brings so much joy to my heart, and I can't wait to start doing retreats around the world and meeting all you guys in person, and all you guys being able to meet each other in person too. So that is definitely in the works, and I shall see you very soon. Love you guys heaps. Namaste.